I'd like to call tonight's meeting to order, please, for the Rapid City Council for October 6, 2025. Can we have a roll call, please?
Lehman. Here. Maher. Here. Roberts. Here. Stroman.
Here.
Pettigrew.
Here.
Sechrist. Here. Bieberdorf. Here. Tamang. Here. Evans.
Here.
Meyer. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Could we now have the invocation by Dale Bartshire, and you're welcome to stand or you can stay seated. Thank you.
Good evening. Let's pray. Oh God, we come before you tonight with an attitude of gratitude. We thank you for being a God of love who is with us even now in this very room. You never leave us, nor forsake us. Your grace has brought us safe thus far, and Lord, your grace will lead us home. I thank you tonight, Lord, for these your servants, for our mayor, city staff, our city council members and their families. I give thanks for the service that they have chosen to take up on behalf of all of us here. And so we pray that you would be glorified tonight through the decisions of this city council. We pray for their wisdom, strength, and courage to do what is right and good for all its citizens. May they put the interest of others above their own. May they act with love and for the common good. And Lord, may we all be good neighbors, recognizing your image in every person here. We thank you again for this council, our mayor, our city staff, our first responders, our hospital personnel, our teachers, and all those who work to make Rapid City, this place we call home, such a wonderful community. In the name of Jesus, whose perfect love sets us free from all of our fears, we pray. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I would just like to make a couple comments. Unfortunately, Mayor Solomon is ill, and he made me aware of that late this afternoon. So I'm not real familiar with running these meetings, so I ask for patience from the dais, city staff, and the people in the dais in case I make a few mistakes. Now we'll have a motion, please, to adopt tonight's agenda.
Move to adopt.
We have a motion and a second. Those all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion passes. Now we'll move on to the general public comment period. This is a time for the members of the public to discuss or express concerns to the council on any issue not on the agenda. Action will not be taken at the meeting on any issue not on the agenda, except by placement on the agenda by unanimous vote of those council members present. We have quite a few speaker items tonight. So now we'll just address those that are public comment, and if you turned in a speaker request form for a particular item, we will take that when that item comes up. The first speaker request tonight is from Chet Ellsworth. And I would ask when you come to the microphone, please identify yourself, and as always, you have 3 minutes.
Chet Ellsworth, Rapid City, for myself. My concerns tonight are concerning the audit that was taken recently, and it hasn't been accepted by the general auditor general. When it's not accepted by the 7th month, at the end of this last month, you are deemed a high-risk entity. And I don't think you are taking it very seriously, because during the audit, and I did get a copy of the audit from the folks down there, It hasn't been released to the public by the auditor, but none of the problems that were brought up by the local auditor here were responded to by you folks. And I think that there's some hesitancy at Russ's office up there, the Attorney General's office there, and it goes to what's been going on with the parking of the OPED funding and the TIF arrangements. Last time I spoke in here, I talked about to the legal counsel here a few days ago about the fact that you folks have collapsed your government here so that there's no separation of powers anymore. And I think that's having an effect. I think it's something that's very serious and has to be looked at, and also has to be concerned with when we vote on these other items on the agenda tonight, that we don't know who's running the show here. Thank you.
Next person would be Shante Hart, please.
Good evening, City Council. My name is Chante Hart. I am the Executive Director of Kesapa OTP, and I'm here in support of Indigenous Peoples Day, and also we have a huge, exciting weekend ahead of us. And I would like to invite the City Council to join us to kick off this weekend for a ground blessing for Kesapa OTP. This is one of the first steps to bringing our vision to life to the community, and we want to share it with you. And this ceremony will be guided in the spirit of prayer. It's a good way to welcome our community, our City Council in a good way, but also to honor the land and our ancestors, to bring together our future generations. So we wanted to make sure that you got the invite, and we wanted to invite you on Friday at 10 a.m. At 301 Country Road, October 10th, near Ocheti Shakoi Community Academy. And so I just wanted to share that with you, and thank you all for your service. Wopila, thank you.
Nevada Ellison, please.
Good afternoon, Nevada Ellison. Good to see you guys again. Thank you for letting me have a couple minutes. I'm with Black Hills Cannabis Care. We have a medical cannabis cultivation in Rapid City. And I know it's not on the agenda, but I just wanted to come back and reiterate, you know, we're a small player in the game. We're a mom and pop shop. We got our hearts and souls into this thing. And from the get-go, we've been denied a license first through skewed lottery, because the people that had the most money were able to apply a ton of times, and then through litigation. One of the companies is in litigation with some of the licenses, and you know, I proposed a resolution the last time I was in here and spoke, and I've met with a couple city council members, and we just want to put the invitation out to anyone else. If you guys would like to sit down and chat about it, we'd love to have a meeting with you. And I won't take up any more of your time. Thank you, guys.
Steve Massapus.
Can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Steve Massapus, and I wanted to make a few comments supportive of the pending comprehensive plan, especially from the disability community. I'm a member of our city's Disability Awareness and Accessibility Committee, and hopefully most of you are aware of this. It's a volunteer committee with members appointed by the mayor, and we provide in many different ways advocacy for people with disabilities in our community. The committee, by one name or another, has actually been in existence since 1974. As part of the advocacy, we approached the program manager for the anticipated new comprehensive plan about 1.5 years ago and asked how we could provide input on behalf of people with disabilities. She kind of agreed with my observation that the previous plan from 2014 had a very limited number of references to accessibility issues. And she also agreed that people with disabilities are significant stakeholders in Rapid City, representing 15, 20, maybe 25% of the population. She encouraged me to join the 30-member study advisory team for the comprehensive plan and represent the disability committee there. So in that capacity, I was able to provide input through the meetings, through one-on-one interviews with the consultants, and more recently with discussions with Rapid City's ADA coordinator. When our committee reviewed the recent final draft, we thought the new plan looked great, and it indicates support for and appreciation of the value of continuing to keep Rapid City an accessible and all-inclusive community. We more specifically appreciated that one of the actions included in the transportation chapter was to update the ADA transition plan. A transition plan is basically a tool to inventory, plan, and prioritize infrastructure improvements that are needed for ADA compliance. All cities were required to complete one back in 1993, following the Americans with Disabilities Act. However, updated and revised versions continue to be used in many cities for future planning. Lastly, the transportation chapter includes a large photo of the Scotty Backens Memorial statue that's in Memorial Park. And I think that very nicely epitomizes the plan's attention to disability issues. Those of you that have lived in Rapid City 20 years ago probably remember Scotty speeding around town in his wheelchair with a flag on it and a big smile, exceptionally upbeat attitude.
Steve, we're at the end of our 3 minutes.
All right,
Thank you, sir.
you bet. Thank you.
Not seeing any more general public comment requests, we'll close the general public comment period. And we'll move on to the consent items. I'll go to Bill Evans.
There we go. Just like to take a quick moment here, maybe a point of personal privilege. I'd like our finance guy to respond a little bit to this audit comment. I was part of the review. We spent the whole morning down there. I think it's been quite transparent, and I'm just, because I really don't understand what the comment was about, and maybe you could explain the audit process for people before another rumor starts getting legs.
Daniel?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Evans. I appreciate the opportunity to respond to this. I'm not sure entirely all of the comments for it, but I'll be happy to reach out to the gentleman who spoke on it. However, I think it's important to note that the audit process really begins in January each year. In January, our office began preparing the annual report that was presented to the council in May this year, consistent with state statute. And then immediately following that presentation, our auditors provide us a list that's several pages long of questions and information that we begin downloading and preparing for the auditors. They come on site for 3 weeks. They audit our federal expenditures as well as our regulatory expenditures, everything that we end up doing, ensuring that it's consistent with state statute. They completed their audit on time, and they had a workshop with, I think, 3 or 4 of the council members, where we spent about 3 hours reviewing all the audit, any of the findings, as well as the corrective action plans, which we are already in process of implementing. And then that was also presented to the council as well. After it was presented to the council, we did submit it to the state, consistent with state statute. The state did review the audit. They had one minor comment for a change in formatting of one of the tables, and so we did make that change. And we have submitted it to the federal government, consistent with state statute and federal statute. So we're fully compliant with our bonding requirements as well as federal and state statutes.
Well, thank you. That's all. Just because I thought we're quite thorough about that. you know, if Mr. Ellsworth, I believe, wants to have further conversation, we'll listen to him, but I think you're doing a great job of being quite thorough about the details entailed with following all of these rules. So if you've never gone through this audit, it's huge and it's quite comprehensive, and it gets down to the nitty-gritty details. So thank you for doing that, Daniel, and I'm sure you'll follow up on it. Thank you.
Thank you for those comments. We'll now move on to the non-public hearing items 1 through 70. We'll open up public comment for items 1 through 61. And the first one is with Chet. Chet, did you want to address the council again?
Yes, thank you. Chet Ellsworth, Rapid City. Addressing the September 15th, 2025 regular council meeting minutes approval. This is the one that on September 15th, the approval of the September 2nd meeting was held. And of course, the September 15th meeting was to approve the September 2nd meeting in the TIFs and all that. There was no recording of any to the public of any meeting on the September 15th minutes until about 3 o'clock this afternoon, when I was able to get a copy of those minutes. I kind of think that the reason that this was done was to see if people could get enough TIFs to claw back against the TIF motions that you had. And when it didn't happen, you failed to put it on there. So the public is, as far as I was concerned, was not notified of this on any kind of timely basis to make any kind of a decision on it. And waiting until today from September 2nd, it runs back into that high-risk entity quality. There are some things that, and I don't want to put anything down on any of the girls working in the office there. They gave me what I wanted when I could get it there, when I finally asked for it. But the public didn't know that you were going to do this, and it, as a very, very high impact item, should not be put on any kind of a consent item. And so with that, I'm just saying that this should be taken off the record and made a special item itself and voted on it again. It goes with the TIF issue, it goes with a lot of the issues that we've talked about, and a lot of the things that I brought up in the legal meeting about other things, including the opioid problems. Thank you.
Chet, I see you're up for item 21 as well. You want to address that at the same time?
Yeah, that would go along with the same thing, I think, isn't it?
No, agenda item. Lindsay, agenda item 1 is what he spoke about.
That's to do with the opioid situation. I'll wait until that.
We'll take public comment now, and we may vote on those all at one time.
Okay. On the opioid issue, in the Legal and Finance Committee meeting, there was an announcement of some funds that were held, and prior to this year, from opioid payments from the Attorney General, and the lack of follow-up on where those funds were $506,000 worth of funding. Until those questions all get settled about who gave the money to them, what accounts they came through, and where was the money held for all these years, has to be done before anything could be spent. And you're trying to spend some money here. Nothing against the guys that are getting the money. I'm sure they need it, but there's a high-risk situation going on here now, and I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Thank you. I'm on 36, too.
I'll call you up when we get to that. Mark Millar on items 29 and 30, please.
How you doing? I see items 29 and 30 are now referring to TIFs by a number, and all the other meetings we've had up to this point, the TIFs have been referred to by names, and I guess that's adding to my confusion on how to follow the TIFs. A little later in this meeting, we're going to be meeting from a lot of people that have, or some people who have dedicated a lot of time to question a TIF that you guys okayed as it gets brought to a vote by the people. I think a lot of what we've learned, and I know what I've learned, is that there doesn't seem to be a lot of information out there. There wasn't a lot of information out there before this TIF took place. I think that a lot of people have been spreading information on both sides, including myself, as I stood out in the street and collected petition signatures to get this on the ballot and talk to people. And I don't want to be giving people the wrong information. I've been accused of giving people the wrong information. I've been labeled a radical agitator. It's been brought into question that we're specifically against this project. I don't know when you'll set the election for the TIF that we'll be speaking of more later. But I think it's the council's responsibility to bring all of this out. There's more than a handful of unique characteristics to this TIF that haven't been exercised before or haven't been exercised to the amount that they're being exercised now, including the size being 10 times as large as any other one, including the use of money for the interest payments. I have recently read a letter by the former Mayor Allender, who's taking credit for starting this process. And his letter just brought more cloudiness into the questions I have. Namely, it sounds like this whole development area will be built like a gated community, that we will not, in fact, own the utilities in the streets or the streets in the end, because it's going to be allowed to be built differently than how we allow other neighborhoods to be built in this community. And so I don't know if that's in fact true at this point or not, but I can tell you that you guys haven't gone out of your way to bring the specific characteristics of the TIFs out. I'm sorry that I wasn't, that I fell behind in catching this. I've been accused of attacking these private individuals. I actually came first in question of the Marshall TIF. And that just led to what we've learned here. Thank you.
Shante Hart, item number 38. You're done? Yeah. Okay. And Murray Lee, item number 38.
Hello, thank you for allowing me to speak tonight, City Council. I'm here tonight to respectfully request an exception to the downtown street closure rule for our Indigenous Peoples Day celebration at Main Street Square. For the past 2 years, Indian Collective has put on this wonderful event, and the city has allowed us to close Main Street between 5th Street and 6th Street, and that closure has proven essential to both the safety and success of this event. Our Indigenous Peoples Day event has become one of Rapid City's largest and most celebrated gatherings. It brings together hundreds of families, children, anyone from the community to celebrate culture, resilience, and unity right in the heart of downtown. This is not simply a request for convenience. It's a matter of public safety and community well-being. With the size of the crowd we anticipate, having active traffic just steps away from where children, elders, and families are gathered presents a serious risk. Closing that one block allows our security team to operate effectively on that side of the event, creates a clear perimeter for safety, and provides peace of mind for everyone attending. We understand and respect the city's desire for consistency in its policies. But this is one of those moments where principle calls for balance, where applying rules with wisdom means also making room for community, for safety, and for shared celebration. By granting this limited exception, you're not only protecting the public, you're affirming that our city values inclusion, safety, and cultural respect. It's a decision that honors our shared responsibility to keep people safe while allowing something deeply good for this community to continue to grow. So I want to thank you for your consideration and for hopefully standing with us in ensuring that our Indigenous Peoples Day remains not only a celebration of culture, but a reflection of the very best of Rapid City and its commitment to public safety. Thank you.
Thank you. That will close the public comment period on items 1 through 61. Does anyone want to remove any of the consent items on 1 through 61? Mr. Evans?
Yeah, I want to remove number 1.
Any other council members want to remove any items? Motion is, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes, approving items 2 through 61. Mr. Evans, we'll go to item number 1.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Pettigrew. And as a person who kind of prides themselves on trying to be honorable and honest all the time, I guess it sort of hurts my feelings when we're kind of accused of being surreptitious or doctoring the books in order to do something. So I'm going to ask our city attorney to please explain the minutes process and if we've followed all the rules and have posted them appropriately, and just explain the process, because I believe we have. So if you'd comment, Mr. Land, I'd appreciate it.
Well, I think that the issue was that I'm looking at the 15th, I think, was that the second meeting in September? So this is the first meeting in October. So usually the minutes are approved at the meeting after. So this would be the first meeting at which you could approve the minutes for the 15th. So I don't know when else we would have approved them, I guess.
What's our standard practice about publishing them? Is it the afternoon of? Is it when we get the agenda the Friday before? When is it actually published so people can inspect them?
I would defer to Heidi on that, but usually I think it's probably a few days after. As far as, I don't know if we provide them before they're approved. If we do, it's a draft minute. It wouldn't be finalized. I think it doesn't happen often, but I recall within the last month, I think Alderman Stroman asked that the minutes be changed because he did not agree with one of the way something was characterized in it. So, until you guys approve them, they're not finalized. So.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that everybody knows we're not purposely trying to distract or delay the publications in any way so they don't get inspected by the people. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now go on to the non-consent items 62 through.
Yeah, we have to.
Okay. Make a motion, please, to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Councilman Roberts, for correcting me on that. Now we'll move on to the non-consent items 62 through 70. We have a few speaker requests on that, and the first one will be Jerry Anderson on item number 66.
Thank you for hearing me. My name's Jerry Anderson, and in regards to the ordinance being changed from residential to a commercial, I see here that you guys have a recommendation for denying it. I hope you do. The reason why I'm speaking. is
Sir,
Yes,
sir, we're going to acknowledge that the applicant has withdrawn this request tonight.
Okay, so we're all good to go.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you for the good work you guys do.
And I also have a speaker request from Eldon Bell, and the same would be applicable for him. The request for this has been withdrawn.
Yes, thank you very much. My name's Eldon Bell. I had the great pleasure of being a Foreign Service Officer in the United States Department of State for 14 years, served worldwide, and could have retired anywhere in the world. And I picked Rapid City in 1997. I bought property in the item that you're talking about, 66. And I think that the commission, and you folks in particular, deserve praise for choosing a good planning commission and letting it function as well as it does. I was at the meeting in September, and I was really very favorably impressed with the professionalism. And I think you need to keep that kind of professionalism going, because it means that you will continue to have good retirement neighborhoods that attract good families, where I've been honored to live for that time. And I wanted to thank all of you folks for that service.
Thank you. The next item would be number 70, and James Bialato.
Council, thank you for having us today. So this is specifically speaking about the TIF vote to schedule it. And I have heard that you guys might be considering doing it a month before the general election at an exorbitant cost of possibly $100,000 to the taxpayer. If it can't be done in the next month, why wouldn't you wait one more month to the general election where the cost would be much, much less? And that's all I have to say at that. But that's not what I'm going to finish with. So prior here at council, I explained how I was personally attacked by council and police for airing public grievances here. And you guys told me, no, 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 that's not possible. And then you went and did it to multiple organizations that put out petitions against you. You didn't prove me wrong. You proved yourself liars. You went after these people personally. Some people were doxxed. You like to release it to the press through your second hand so you say your hands are clean. And it's disgusting. I want it to stop. Stop going after citizens doing their job. I think a lot of us here have read portions of a book. This happened to the same thing. It's been published in I don't know how many languages, probably almost every language we have. But the last person I remember who is, abused by his government for speaking and was Jesus Christ. And they crucified him. What are you doing to your own community? Tell me you're not crucifying us. You're throwing us out there to be martyrs to the press and to the public by slandering us. And we've had enough. So I've tried everything. I've prayed privately. I've gone to the police. And by the way, I filled out a criminal complaint that's now with DCI. So if you go after any more of us or me again, it's witness tampering. It's a 10-year felony. I dare you, put your name on it. I'll run you up to the new prison they're going to build. So let us pray. Dear Lord, please let these people see the errors of their ways, that greed and gluttony of public funds that is taken from the needy, taken from the elderly, taken from the young, to fund the achievements of others is just not charity. Let them see the error of their ways. Let them not air false witnesses against the public. And may God have mercy on their souls. Thank you.
The next speaker request on item 70 is from Joel Brannon.
Thank you. Thank you, Council. My name's Joel Brannon. I'm the Liberty Land Destination District Project Manager. And I would really encourage the City Council to take this to a special election. I think the citizens of Rapid City have spoken. They would like to vote on this issue. And I have the utmost respect for you, the council, as well as the citizens of Rapid City. And I think when the citizens of Rapid City get the real information and understand it, and understand that this is not a gated community, this is not a gated amusement park, this is a themed attraction facility that will be welcoming to both the citizens of Rapid City and tourists about. I think this will bring in enormous amount of sales revenue tax that this city uses to fund the streets, the police force, and all the amenities that the citizens of Rapid City enjoy today. So I look forward to hearing what your decision is. I look forward to spending the next period of time trying to educate the voting populace of Rapid City, and I feel confident that once they get all the information, they will see that this project is something that will advance Rapid City not only now but into the future. Thank you.
And our last speaker request is from Tonchi Weaver on item number 70.
I don't know if that's on. Yes, it is. Good evening, folks. I do want to make some things clear on the record. Number one, the effort of this referendum was not just South Dakota Citizens for Liberty. It was a cooperative effort, and it spanned all political, the entire political spectrum. We had 81 circulators. Every one of them was a volunteer who wanted oversight of the council's action, as did all the people who signed the petitions. We turned in, I believe the number was 5,145, one more than was double the number required. And, you know, a good deal of them, of course, were people who live just outside the area. We knew there would be a slight error rate, but I will point out that that's 2,000 more people than signed, voted in the last municipal election that signed the petition. So I think this is a very valuable poll of our community. And I agree with Mr. Brannon, they do want to vote. And I would also point out that there are some things that have not made the news, that we have had some news coverage, which I'm glad the community is very interested in this topic. One thing I always mention to the reporters is that if the TIF had contained only that money which would go for infrastructure and public use, we would not be out here. We would not have had a referendum. But the thing that drove it is the $47 million in discretionary funds, the $54 million in interest reimbursements, and the fact that the county is concerned about these things as well and expressed that in a letter to you in, I believe, July. Okay, I do want to mention too, because it was alluded to, there was a campaign called Decline to Sign. It was funded, the people were paid. There was money spent on radio ads, flyers, and billboards, and they did use words like radical petition and radical extremists, and called us all anti-growth. And frankly, we are not anti-growth, but given a choice between stability and growth, we would take the former. So now you're faced with a situation, according to the item that was attached to the agenda, you may not be able to have a special election. The Pennington County Auditor, I guess, is driving that bus. I would encourage a June election if that's the case, if you cannot do as Mr. Brannon requested.
Thank you. And Mr. Millar, you wanted to speak to item 70.
Yeah, I want to speak to item 70. I'm going to be coming back here every council meeting between now and the election and reminding you of item 70 and the process that got us here. I'd like to thank all the people that collected petitions. I was one of them, but the other 80 people gave me a platform to be more than a voice. I spoke with a lot of people. I believe that we have the overwhelming support of the community. I don't care when you set the election. I do care about how much effort the city will put towards, or I should say against, those of us that gathered together to bring this to an election. We should all be left with a huge distaste in our mouth for the way that the former mayor handled the summit, the monument, the civic center, the big, I call it his big box of air. Because what we learned in that process was how the council can lean on the numbers, the mayor can lean on the numbers, and everything, every number that comes up is going to have a window. And you're either going to pick the high end of that window or the low end of that window, depending on how it fits you. But a large part of the reason why this city is broke is because what we committed to the Civic Center. That will be my next point of questioning. Well, actually, first I'm going to question the ridiculous idea of realigning the railroad through town. I don't know who won the Powerball there, but there's no way we can afford that. That's ridiculousness. And then the next question that we need, as citizens, need to be asking is, how have you separated us from the costs at the Civic Center? I see we had a new announcement a couple days ago, new $900,000 of ice equipment for the Civic Center. They got 67 full-time employees over there. Man, we got $200 million of what is supposed to be money for the betterment of our community tied into a facility that is going to be costing us for 30 years. 2 events will probably capitalize on that. Thank God for L&I and everything they do, and for the stock show.
Thank you. We will now close the public comment items for 62 through 70, and we'll move on to item 62. And this is the first reading of ordinance 6643, an ordinance amending section 17.06 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. A request by Forest Products Distributors, Inc. for a rezoning request for no-use district to heavy industrial district for property generally described as being located at 5420 Old Folsom Road. We have a second. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion passes. Item 63, first reading of ordinance 6680, an ordinance amending section 1706 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by the City of Rapid City for Darrell and Jean Ennin for rezoning request for no-use district to general agricultural district for property generally described as being located between Ennin Drive and Radar Hill Road. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Item 64. First reading of ordinance 6681, an ordinance amending section 1706 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. A request by the City of Rapid City for Sturgis Properties LLC for a rezoning request from no use district to general agricultural district for for property generally described as being located between Enon Drive and Radar Hill Road. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 65. First reading of ordinance 6682, an ordinance amending section 1706 of the Rapid City Municipal Code. A request by the City of Rapid City for Valley Development LLC for a rezoning request from no use district to general agricultural district for property generally described as being between Enon Drive and Radar Hill Road. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Item 66, we want to acknowledge that the applicants have withdrawn that.
Move to acknowledge.
So those in favor of acknowledging the withdrawal? Opposed? Motion passes. Item 67. First reading of ordinance number 6692, an ordinance transferring the city's transit and GIS divisions from the Department of Public Works to the Department of Community Development by amending chapters 2.44 and 2.47 of the Rapid City Municipal Code.
Move to approve.
Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Item 68. First reading of ordinance number 6689, an ordinance regarding supplemental appropriations number 3 for 2025. We've had a motion and a second. Those in favor? Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 69. A request by Advanced Design, Engineering, and Surveying, Inc. for Black Hills Industrial Center, LLC, for a preliminary subdivision plan for proposed lots 9 and 10 of Block 3 of Section 20 and lots 5 through 7 of Block 2 and lots 4 through 6 of Block 3 of Section 29, generally described as being located at Old Folsom Road and Capacitor Street. Sorry about that. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Thank you.
You can't do that when you're the mayor. You can't do that.
Those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Now to staff items number 7. Daniel, did you want to make some comments on this?
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to follow up on the memo that I believe the council received regarding this, I have spoken with the county auditor. She has requested a special election date of January 13th, 2026, or a special election date of January 20th, 2026, or combining it with the regular general municipal election that would be in June of 2026.
Councilman Maher?
I'd like to make a motion to have a special election in January, but I'd like to retain the floor, if I can get a second. Okay, I'll make it the January 13th. And the reason I wanted to hold the floor is, I mean, this is a big issue. And Atanchi, you and your 81 people did a wonderful job of gathering signatures. We'll give you that. So let's have the election. And let's talk about this project before the election. Let's not delay it for 8 months, because that really stops economic development in Rapid City. It would not just affect the Liberty Land project. If we delay this till June, we're going to have prospects Elevate's talking to. They're going to look at Rapid City and go, I don't know if we want to go there. They don't do anything for economic development. So I'd like the election to be in January. Thank you.
So the motion on the floor is to have the election, if I'm correct, Councilman Maher, January 13th. Greg Stroman, please.
Thank you, Chair. I'm for a January election also. I just pulled up the school calendar though, and I noticed that January 20th is a no student day for Rapid City area schools. I think it's the day after Martin Luther King Day. I think that might be a better time if we have to use the schools for polling places, and I just would like the council to consider that. I don't know, John, if you have some reason the 13th is better, I guess I'd. Okay, I'm good with that if that is, it's still a Tuesday. We can make, I would make a substitute
motion to do that. I'm in the queue next.
I yield, I'm done. Thanks.
Councilman Roberts.
I'll make a substitute motion to have the election on January 20th, if I can get a second, and then hold the floor. And the only reason that I'm speaking is I believe the same thing. I think we should get this out and voted on as quickly as possible. But I did want to speak to one of the comments by Mr. Mayor. I always pronounce your last name wrong. Millar, sorry, Mark. But one of the things that the city cannot do is the city cannot expend money on this issue to promote it. So, you know, that's one of the things. During the Civic Center,
Would that
which,
include the mayor's discretionary fund and the council's discretionary fund?
the council didn't use any discretionary money on it. I know there was some.
No, I'm not-
Mark, you're out
But-
of order, please.
And it doesn't matter anyway. I voted against it if you want to look at the record. But what I'm trying to say, I voted against the Civic Center, is what I'm saying. And what I'm trying to say is we do, or at least I do, watch this closely, that the city isn't expending any money on these things that need to be voted on because, one, it's illegal, and second, I think it's highly unethical. Now, granted, I know there's some possible ways around that with some other people, you know, some other groups that get city money. So you have to be concerned about that. But I do believe that there's been so much misinformation out there about this that is just sickening to me. I mean, TIFs, they have been used widely in Rapid because basically it's the only economic tool we have, which is unfortunate. I wish we had more economic, development tools, but we don't. But if you look at the TIFs, because one of the things that I heard was 20% of the TIFs have been unsuccessful. You know what? That is TIFs that never even made it to becoming a TIF, that were never funded, that never came into. Every TIF that we've had, -2 since 1984, have been successful. And if you look at the majority of them, like Rushmore Crossing, which was $16 million when it was first became a TIF, and now it's hundreds of millions of dollars that are on the taxpayer's roll. And that's just one of the many, and then also saying TIFs would just happen. They would just happen. Well, I guarantee you that the housing development behind Menards, that would have never happened, ever happened, because there was a $24 million city road that had to be put on that property. There's no way a developer is going to pay $24 million for a road. It's not possible. So every TIF, I've voted for and against TIFs on all the years I've been up here. I've seen bad TIFs. I've never seen anybody come into this room when there was a bad TIF that this council fought off. But when we do have a TIF that can get politicized and become a big public debate, then it becomes an issue. I didn't see people in the Planning Commission on this. This probably would have just went through if there hadn't have been an issue with the city and it had to come back again. And the whole thing, in my opinion, is just, I'm glad. I'm absolutely glad that the citizens get a vote on this. I think you're going to be wrong. I think that the people of Rapid City like the fact, and they believe that we're doing a good job up here. I think that this is going to be great for economic development in Rapid City, and I hope it passes, and I'm going to fight 100% for it. Thank you.
Councilman Evans?
Thank you. I agree with Mr. Roberts on everything he said. And like Mr. Roberts, I voted for and against some TIFs if I don't think they make sense economically. And like I said at the Legal Finance Committee on Wednesday, in most states, they collect your taxes at the state level. They have a big economic development fund. They dole that out to the city from their state capital based upon who has the best connections. I think TIFs are good because we actually control the money that we are in charge of a little bit locally. And it's our only vehicle to compete with those states that do have those kind of economic development funds. So I think it's a great vehicle, and we've done a great job of managing them. I would like to ask one question because, as Mr. Roberts said, all this misinformation, and I was originally opposed to this particular Liberty Land TIF. When I educated myself, I changed my mind because I knew I was wrong. So I hope some of you people will do the same. Now, a comment was made earlier when we talk about misinformation, and this is how these things get legs, and for some reason they keep going. Somebody said this city was broke. Is our city broke?
Mr. Ainsley?
Not even close.
I know, but that's going to be what's published. And this is the problem with this culture and the media culture we have right now. People hear these hot button things and they go with them. They don't know what the hell they're talking about, but they keep saying them. So please don't say things that are not true. It hurts my feelings. Thank you.
You got a name for who?
The motion on the floor is to have the vote on January 20th. Do we have a second? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. On to item number 71. Senior Citizens, Inc. for a special event, malt beverage license, and an on-sale wine license for an event scheduled for October 17th, 2025 at Canyon Lake Activity Center, 2900 Canyon Lake Drive. Do you have a second? We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, motion passes. That's the end of our consent calendar. Now we'll go on to the non-consent public items, 72 through 73. 72 is a resolution 2025-114, a resolution amending the comprehensive plan of the city of Rapid City. We have a motion and a second. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Item 73, second reading of ordinance 6688, an ordinance amending section 1706 of the Rapid City Municipal Code, a request by the City of Rapid City Parks and Rec Department for a rezoning request from medium-density residential district to public district for property generally described as being located at 2110 Provider Boulevard. We have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. We'll go on to the bill list, item 74, and Councilwoman Meyer would like to abstain from item 74. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Item 75.
Move to approve. Well, hold on.
Okay. Daniel?
Sorry. I would, given your action earlier this evening, I would like to add to the bill list an additional $60,000 for the Menalooza Hahn Senior Center. So that would be in addition to the $20,345,593.25.
Second? Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion passes. Meeting adjourned.
Second.